Okay, so this video is to help you with solving your Chapter 11 problem. Here it's a gas problem integrated with limiting reagent. Okay, for the first step of the problem, we need to determine what the limiting reagent is. Okay, so we're given that we have 158 grams of nitrogen monoxide. We're not directly given the amount of oxygen. We're going to have to indirectly determine that using our ideal gas law, which is PV equals nRT. Okay, so first step, we have our grams of nitrogen monoxide. We're going to divide by the molecular weight. MW stands for molecular weight, which you can get from the periodic table. Nitrogen has a molecular weight of 14 grams per mole. Oxygen has 16 grams per mole, so NO has approximately 30 grams per mole. You know from the balanced chemical reaction given in the problem, it's a 2-to-2 mole ratio. Once we get our moles of nitrogen dioxide, we can multiply by the molecular weight and get the grams of nitrogen dioxide. Okay, so we're going to save that. Now we're going to use ideal gas law to determine the moles of NO. So we plug in our pressure. We have to make sure to convert it to atmospheres because our gas constant, which is R, has ATM in it. So we're going to divide by 760 millimeters of mercury to get our ATM. We're given our volume that the oxygen occupies, which is 84.8 liters. Okay, and then our variable that we're solving for is N, which stands for the moles of our oxygen gas. We have that multiplied times our R constant, and don't forget, because we're dealing with gases, our temperature has to be in Kelvin. So we're going to take 35 degrees Celsius plus 273.15 Kelvin. Okay, then you're going to solve for your moles. Once you get your moles of your O2, you use the mole-to-mole relationship, which is 1 to 2 from your balanced chemical reaction, and then multiply by the molecular weight, which you get from the periodic table. Okay, so what you're going to do is you have 2 grams of nitrogen dioxide that you're going to compare. Whatever produces the lesser amount will tell you what your limiting reagent is. Okay, so whatever produces the lesser amount of nitrogen dioxide will give you your limiting reagent. So look for lesser amount. Okay, so for example, if you find that the lesser amount is from your nitrogen monoxide is your limiting reagent. If the lesser amount's from your oxygen is your limiting reagent. Okay, whatever lesser amount you obtained in the problem is going to be your theoretical yield. Okay, so whatever lesser amount of nitrogen dioxide that you produce, it's going to go in as your theoretical grams, because in the next part of the problem you have to calculate percent yield. Percent yield is actual grams over theoretical grams times 100%. It's given in the problem what was actually measured. So you're going to use again your ideal gas law and solve for N. N will be the moles of your nitrogen dioxide. You plug in your pressure, you plug in your volume, you plug in your R constant and your temperature. Don't forget to change your units appropriately. Whatever you obtain there will give you your moles of nitrogen dioxide actually produced. Multiply that by the molar mass, that will give you your actual grams. Divide that by the theoretical grams you found from the first part of the problem. Times 100% will give you your percent yield. Okay, in this video we're going to cover chapter 12, number 92, and it asks for you to determine the intermolecular forces that are present in the molecules that are given. Okay, the first type of intermolecular force is dipole-dipole, and that occurs when you have polar molecules. How do you know you have a polar molecule? When you have a net dipole moment. Okay, the second type of intermolecular force is hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen bonding is like the super dipole. It is the strongest intermolecular force. You know you have hydrogen bonding when you have hydrogen directly bonded to F, hydrogen directly bonded to nitrogen, or hydrogen directly bonded to oxygen. So an example there would be like H2O. Okay, so H2O has hydrogen directly bonded to your oxygen, right? So we know that this is a polar molecule. The dominant intermolecular force would be hydrogen bonding. Okay, and then the last type of intermolecular force is dispersion. Every molecule has some dispersion in different degrees. And this occurs in nonpolar molecules and in all molecules, but it may not be the dominant intermolecular force. Okay, so your rankings of intermolecular forces, hydrogen bonding would be the strongest, dipole-dipole the second strongest, and dispersion is the weakest. Working with the molecule that we just had with our Lewis structures, H2CO, I drew the Lewis structure here, and what you can see is oxygen is the most electronegative element. So you're going to have a dipole moment that's going to be going towards your oxygen. Most of your electron density is going to be pulled by your oxygen since it's the most electronegative element. Since there's a net dipole moment, this is a polar molecule. Hence, the dominant intermolecular force would be dipole-dipole. This would also contain dispersion forces, as all molecules contain dispersion forces. But the dominant intermolecular force is dipole-dipole.